If the apocalypse ever were to happen, then I can promise you that these folks would be ready. Here are the top 5 scary doomsday bunkers people actually live in. Number 5 on this list is the Oppidum. The Oppidum is one of the most extravagant doomsday bunkers in the world that some people frequent regularly. I mean, if my doomsday bunker was this nice, then I would be regular as well. The manual says, calling itself the largest billionaire bunker in the world, the Oppidum is located in the centralized Czech Republic in a quiet valley surrounded by mountains. Any potential conflict in the world is likely to avoid the Czech Republic or reach it at a later stage, which would enable the owners of the Oppidum to arrive at the compound and make preparations, says the official website. You need a special passcode to even access the page. Construction on this luxe doomsday shelter began in 1984 during the Cold War, and today it's ready to provide long-term, for like 10 years, of protection against natural or man-made disasters, weapons of mass destruction, and power outages. In addition to underground bunkers, the Oppidum, derived from the Latin word for closed spaces, also provides an above-ground residential estate so you don't go full-blown blast from the past Brendan Fraser. But the rooms are swanky enough that you might not want to leave. Ever. I think maybe the scariest part about this is that some people literally put billions of dollars into this thing. Like, people are starving and dying in other countries, and somebody thought that instead of spending their money on those individuals and helping them, it would be better served building this billionaire bunker. Which then also begs the question, are we close to nukes flying and the doomsday actually happening? If people are literally out here investing billions of dollars, then clearly they know something that we don't, and that's really not a reassuring thought if you think about it. On a totally side note though, it would be pretty nice to stay here at one point, I will admit. Number 4 on this list is the Trident Lakes. This thing honestly needs to have its own horror thriller movie or something, man, because the premise here is just flat out weird. The manual says, Disneyland for nuclear disaster. Trident Lakes prides itself on being a 5-star resort equipped for security, survivability, and sustainability. Putting a new spin on gated community, this 670-acre compound in Extor, Texas can withstand an armed invasion while still allowing its residents to have a blast. There's a driving range, polo field, lagoon, gun range, adventure course, and of course, personal underground living spaces with above-ground terraces. Best of both worlds, am I right? There's room for 3,000 people, which is about 2,300 more people than live in Ector city limits. Be prepared to dish out anywhere between $449,000 to about $2 million though. Mickey Mouse probably won't be there anytime soon. Isn't that whole premise just a bit twisted? Like a theme park, but one that's literally prepared for battle at any given point. I don't know, it just feels sort of weird and wrong to me. It also seems like a massive waste of money too. Like, don't get me wrong, I'd love to rip some golf balls too if the apocalypse ever did happen, but don't you think that the #1 goal should be survival? Like, maybe let's focus on saving as many people as possible, and then we can hone in on the amenities. Number 3 on this list is Moscow Metro. Russia, as we know, is pretty secretive about what they're up to most of the time. This doomsday base is no exception. Survival Spot says, unknown to most traveling the subways of Moscow, there's something more down there than just basic transit systems. There is a large subterranean system of secret trains and bunkers beneath Moscow, most of which was built by Stalin during the Cold War. What we know about this facility is very little, mostly because there are few first-hand accounts of a secret metro's existence. In 1991, the United States actually spoke about these bunkers, where they said, Soviet press has noted the presence of an enormous underground leadership bunker adjacent to Moscow State University. These facilities are intended for the National Command Authority in wartime. They are estimated to be 200 to 300 meters deep and can accommodate an estimated 10,000 people. Now, nobody really knows what it is that's going on down here, but I would wager a bet that there is something afoot. If the United States wanted to bring this up to the public, then I bet that they believe the Russians are doing something pretty secretive down in this doomsday base. I would bet that there are a few select individuals who live down here and are probably up to some stuff that they never want to reach the surface. Number 2 on this list is the Shanghai Complex. This is the biggest doomsday bunker in the entire world and deserves a nod on this list. Survival Spot says, very little is known about this complex, but what is known is significant. In 2006, the Shanghai Morning Post announced the completion of a 1 million square foot bunker capable of housing up to 200,000 people. This is the largest capacity for a bunker we've ever heard. This shelter was designed to withstand blasts from nuclear radiation and poisonous gas emissions. According to Shanghai Morning Post, 15 tunnels, each of which stretch 4,000 meters, link more than 10 trading centers, office buildings, and residential buildings throughout the city. The complex is equipped with its own power supply, ventilation, and power storage capability, which is able to ensure a daily underground supply for 1 to 2 weeks. The shelter is also well connected to ground-level railway transportation from southern Jiaoping region to northern Baoshan, providing flexibility to those seeking refuge from disasters. During non-emergencies, portions of the underground bunker could potentially be used as a commercial garage or storehouse. Now once again, we are dealing with a doomsday bunker that people really don't know that much about. Do people live down here? I mean, I'd imagine so. In fact, I think that it would be impossible not to have people living down here. Just the maintenance alone of a place like this would require multiple sets of individuals constantly working on it. Think about that number though. 200,000 people could fit down there and survive for an extended period of time. Basically, a city could go down there and live. If the Chinese government is investing this much capital into something this massive, then it doesn't make me feel great for the future. And finally, number 1 on this list is Vivos X Point. Vivos X Point is literally the largest survival community on the entire planet. This is a full-up bunker neighborhood with hundreds of people living inside these tiny shelters. And it's honestly super crazy if you think about it. The Vivos X Point website themselves say this irreplaceable former US Army base consisting of 575 private military-built concrete and steel all-risk bunkers is now repurposed and affordably priced, ready to provide life-saving shelter for your entire family or group. You can visit and stay in your bunker as often as you like, even live in it full-time as your primary residence or a home away from home. Their website goes on to show maps of the United States with suspected nuke attack areas and how this site is far away from those blast zones. Then they talk about customizing your bunker and having enough space to socialize and stuff. Like, I swear guys, this doesn't even seem like a real human life thing that I'm talking about right now. Hundreds of people live here in constant fear that the world is going to get annihilated. Now, in all honesty, I suppose nowadays there is a decent amount of fighting, so I guess they do have some valid stuff to worry about, but still, I personally cannot imagine living in a bunker for the rest of my days. If that sounds like something that's up your alley though, then go check out Vivos X Point, I guess. But there you have it folks, that is our list of the top 5 scary doomsday bunkers people actually live in. Please let me know in the comments down below what you thought about this list and some other crazy doomsday bunkers that you guys may know about. Also please hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching. I've been your host Nicholas Playlog, and I'll catch you next time.